In all our lives, there's this small, unseen, subtle force that governs the way we live and will govern the lives that we create if we don't change it. That force is our self image. And you've probably heard about self image before, but you've heard about it in this wishy washy way that it seemed like this isn't even something that I should focus on. I just need to focus on doing the correct things today to get where I want to go. But I'm going to explain it in a way where you see how it truly affects your life and how you can even change your self image to promote a better alignment in your life. Because, see, the truth is, whether it be your performance in business or sport, your self image is going to directly affect your output. So, first of all, before I carry on, we have to establish what your self image is. In a short sentence, your self image is a type of person you conceive yourself to be. That involves the parameters you've set for yourself. What is possible for you? What isn't? What is okay for you to do? And what is it? What is moral and what is immoral? What type of person are you? What type of actions do you take? What type of success is okay for you and comfortable for you? What is out of your reach? So, all these things that I've just said, they culminate, they compound, and they create this small little thing that affects every area of your life called your self image. So, if you answered some of those questions, you'll see that most of the things, maybe 99% of the things you do day to day, are things that fall within your self image, things that are normal for you to do. And whenever you veer away from that self image, you feel misaligned. You don't feel at peace. You feel as if you're living wrong, as if, whatever. You just have this constant sense of unease until you eventually revert back to your self image or change it to match what you actually want to do. So, with this explanation I've given you, you can see just how much it affects your life and why it would be important to develop a self image that aligns with what you want to do in life. This thing called self image, it determines the opportunities that you allow yourself to take, it determines how you allow other people to treat you, it even governs how much money you're going to make. The holy grail with self image is when you mix it with a belief that creates this invisible force that will always move to make sure that belief and that self image are held to be true. And the most common one I've seen in Africa is people believe that money is the root of all evil, that if you have a lot of money, you're bad. But these same people want to be good people. They tell themselves, I'm a good person. I have integrity. I'm good. So if you believe that you're a good person, but you also believe that money is the root of all evil, why would you get rich? Why would you make a lot of money when the act of making a lot of money, the act of having a lot of money contradicts what your self image is? Do you see the conflict there? So, subconsciously, you will be stifling your own attempts to get rich because you want to maintain the self image of being a good person. So, why are you going to get so much money when you believe it's the root of evil and you want to be good? Huh? You'll see that for these people, working is hard. Things never come by easily. And for some reason, things always mess up when it comes to their business. See, you even see this concept in other areas of life. Let's say you refer to yourself as a man of integrity, of good morals. The moment you start doing disingenuous things, the moment you start veering away from your moral compass, you'll notice that you lose all peace. You'll notice that you feel shame. You'll notice that you can't look people in the eye because you know what you're doing behind closed doors. Your actions are no longer aligning to your self image, so you just feel uneasy. And if you continue down that path, you'll spiral into a complete mess, or somehow you will just revert back to your self image, whether it's you repent for what you've done, whether you confess what you've done, something that will allow you to just let go of the burden of you veering away from your self image. You also see this in people who are used to being in bad situations, who are used to being treated poorly in relationships. See, they will now enter a good relationship where someone values them, they're treating them nicely. Let's say in your past relationship, it was toxic, you were cheated on, they never prioritized you, they always made you feel like you're small. Now you're in a relationship where someone does the opposite. They truly cherish you. They make you feel as if you're the most important person on earth. But you and I both know that a lot of the time, the person that's been used to terrible situations will think the new situation isn't normal. They'll think that this is too good to be true, that things are eventually going to mess up. And they'll start subconsciously sabotaging their experience. They'll start doing things that don't promote the progression of a healthy relationship. They'll start bringing back their toxic habits and they now create another toxic situation. And then they'll find that that person who tried to be healthy with them will probably leave because they'll be like, I don't want to deal with this. And now it's perpetuating that cycle of thinking that people always treat me badly because now the person who wanted to treat you good left because you are now bringing your old toxic habits in because you believe that you had to be treated that way. You even see this pattern when it comes to sports players, right? I believe that every sports player goes through this purple patch. But the response to that purple patch is different. You see, some players, they keep on building upon that purple patch. It becomes a new like foundation, their new normal, and then they build, they build, they build. Some players, they experience that purple patch. A few years later, you're like, oh, where is this person? My theory for this is some players, when they go through a purple patch, their self-image also develops through that purple patch. So they believe like, oh, if I was able to do this, then it's possible for me to do more. Like they create an even better self-image. Whereas other players, they'll be like, oh, flip, I'm playing well. I wonder how long this is gonna last. And because they have that thought, that belief that it's not gonna last, it doesn't last, and they revert back to their average way of playing. You see this even when it comes to people's businesses. They will constantly go through these cycles of making a lot of money, then nothing, then a lot of money, then nothing, then a lot of money, then nothing. And it's like every time they go through that phase of making a lot of money, it's like always the same point. But things always revert back to their average state, what they conceive to be comfortable. For some reason, things will go wrong. Maybe they'll make a minimal mistake on the documents for the law, and then now they have to pay this much and whatnot. Like small mistakes leading to you just reverting back to what you see as comfortable for yourself. And with all these examples, these people tend to think that, oh, the world is out to get me. And I used to hold this belief, oh, the world is out to get me, until I realized that I am one of 7 billion people. What makes me so important that the world, that the forces of nature would be out to get me? Like me of all people, why would they be out to get me? And why would they be out to get you? What makes you so important that the world, all that's going on, the laws of nature, everything that's going on is out to get you? And I realized after that train of thought that the problem is probably with me. And see, the funny thing about these situations that we're in, where we start saying, oh, this is too good to be true, is that our too good to be true is someone else's average life. Like that is normal for them. And not even average life. Our too good to be true is someone else's this isn't good enough. Don't you find that crazy? If you're saying, this is too good to be true, it's too good to be true for you. Not for me, not for other people, for you. And when you think about it, why does it have to be that way? Why does anything have to be too good to be true? See, all of this can be changed if you take the effort to change your self image, to align it to the type of life you want to live, to the type of results that you want to obtain. To change your self image, you first have to think how it came about. Most of our self images came about through our experiences, what we heard from our parents, friends, teachers, at school, and just all the things that we've been through. So, logically thinking, the way to change your self image would be to experience new things that you would now then internalize and create a new self image from. Yes. But now you're thinking, okay, how am I going to experience new things if my life is this way? That's going to be hard. See, the amazing thing about all of this is our brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined experiences. So if we can imagine something with so much detail that it seems real, it'll count as a new experience for our subconscious mind. And those imagined experiences will now affect the way we view ourselves. And if you're an overthinker, you know that your brain doesn't know the difference between a real and imagined experience. Because a lot of our overthinking, a lot of our fears, let's say you're anxious that, I don't know, a common one, you're anxious that, I'm not good enough for my partner is always going to leave me. Like, a lot of the time, you actually don't have evidence for that. You've just imagined it in your head. You've twisted scenarios into a way and created detailed visualization so that now you're thinking that my partner's going to leave. See, you visualize your partner leaving 10,000 times in your head. So now it becomes this concrete belief, this concrete possibility, and you live your life as if that threat is imminent, as if it's going to happen. You've created a reality where people leave you, but in reality, you never experienced it. With all that in mind, if we can imagine the minute details, if we can feel how we would feel in the moment, eventually it will start to impact our self image and develop a better one. So you need to get into your mind and ask yourself, what is the next big shift that I want to be in your life? What is the results that you want to achieve? And then when you now get this result, you have to ask yourself, what would it look like if I did this? How would I feel? How would I live? How would I treat myself? How would I treat other people? Go through this, create this vivid visualization. Create it with so much detail that it seems real, that you feel the emotions that you would feel if it was happening in real life. And because your brain doesn't know the difference between a real and imagined experience, it's affecting your subconscious. You're actually experiencing that. And eventually, that shift in your subconscious mind is going to shift your reality. And if you watch the top sportsmen in any single field, you'll see that this is true. A lot of the sportsmen who eventually became champions, they saw themselves as champions before they even played, before they even got the league. They saw themselves as the best. They saw themselves winning the Ballon d'Or. The UFC fighter saw himself with the belt around his waist, with his arm held up because he had just won the title fight. See, Conor McGregor, before he was even in the UFC, he saw himself as the face of the sport. These guys, they experienced being champions years before that was a reality, years before the world could like physically see that, oh, this person is a champion. See, that's the key. If you see yourself in a certain light, if you mentally experience it, eventually it's going to become who you are. And who you are is going to attract the experiences that you need in your life. If you found value in this video, click the first link in the description. It will take you to my whop community where I dive into everything mindset and mental health. One of the first things you'll see in there is a free guide to bettering your mental health that I wrote, and it's very short. It's only 19 pages, and it tackles mental health from areas that you probably haven't seen before. So if you're interested, click the link below. It's free. I don't know if I said it's free, but click the link below, and yeah, it'll take you to my WAP community. Thanks.